Hello student, in this chapter we will study about the different kind of sources of the energy, and the chapter name is also the source of energy. In this chapter the topics are covered, that is of source of energy, types of the sources of the energy, conventional source of the energy, and the non-conventional source of the energy. First of all, we start with the basic term, that what is the source. See, the source means anything that provides us energy, then we called as a source of energy. The any things which give us energy, then we consider as a source of energy. For example, if we have a solar energy, so the energy source of the solar energy, that is sun. If we have a wind energy, then the source of the energy, that is the wind. If we have hydro energy, then the source of the hydro energy, that is of water. Whereas the biofuel, the source of energy of it, that is biomass. And the geothermal energy, that is the main source, that is of earth. In that, some of the rock are there which is radioactive, from which we can get the energy. Here you can see the picture of that, the water, flowing water. This flowing water is also have some source of energy by which we can obtain the energy. You all have been seen that the windmills, it's a very vast and huge project. In that, the wind energy, that is converted into the electrical energy. These all the resources, for example the sun, wind, water, biomass, these all are existent as a form of natural, so we consist this as a natural resources. We have two types of resources, or you can say the resources is classified into the two types: the renewable source of energy and the non-renewable source of energy. First we see the renewable source of energy. As the name, that is renew, we can use, if we are using at one time, again we can use it. By the using of one or two time, it not exhaust, it remain as it is, so we consider as a renewable source of energy. For example, sun is also the example of the renewable source of energy. Suppose we are using the sunlight as a source of energy, so the sun is exhausted? No. So we consider it is a renewable source of energy, and this sun is already will give the energy till the trillions of the years. It cannot exhaust, it can be used again and again. The second one, that is of non-renewable source of energy, which is a limited quantity, means it is a present in the limited quantity. If it is a used and it is exhausted at one time, then it requires the millions of the years to form. That's why it is a non-renewable, it is a limited in the quantity, and it is required the millions of the year for the formation, so we consider as a non-renewable source of energy. For example, coal and the petroleum. Whereas the soil, minerals and all, that we consider as a renewable source of energy. Now let's see the definition of the renewable source of energy, that reuse, and the example, that is of soil, wind, sun, etc. And the non-renewable source of energy means the source of energy that get exhausted over a period of the time if we are not using it judiciously or not carried out. For example of the nuclear fuels, fossil fuels, these all are in limited. That's why. Next one, that is of fuels. That what is the fuels? Anything that provides us energy, then we called as a fuel. Means anything, it is means it is in a solid form, maybe it is occur in the liquids, maybe it is occur in gaseous form, but it's provide us energy, then we consider as a fuel. For example, that the LPG, as you know that the LPG we are using for the cooking, so it is a form of a gas. For example, another example, that is a coal. It is in solid form. If we are burn it, then we get the energy. Means the anything that provides us energy, then we consider as a fuels. And according to state, it is a solid, they can be a liquid, they can be a gas. Here the given example, the gas LPG, that the coal it is in solid, while the oil that is in a liquid form. Solid fuel means it is a state in a solid. That state is in a solid form. That's why we consider as a solid fuel. For example, the coal. In the ancient time, as you know, that the train that is working based on the coal. Same like the liquid fuel. For example, the kerosene, petrol, etc. As we know that the petrol, by using the petrol we can run our vehicles. Same like the another one, that is of gaseous fuel, like LPG. What is the full form of LPG? That is a liquefied petroleum gas, we can use as a cooking. Another one, that is of CNG. Let's see the main component of the LPG, that is a butane. You can say the butane is the main component of the LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. Now, as we see the lots of types of the fuels, that is in the form of solid, liquid or green. But if we are using it as a fuel, but there is some characteristic, if they are containing certain properties, then we consider as a ideal fuel. So which are the ideal fuel? How can we identify that this fuel is ideal or not? And it is also most important question, it may ask in 2 marks. First character, that is it should be a cheap, so everyone can afford it. The second one, that is it should be easily stored. And third one, that is of it should have high calorific value. High calorific value means if we have burned the 1 gram of fuel, and whatever the amount of energy we get by the burning of 1 gram of fuel, then we consider as a calorific value. But by the burning of 1 gram, we get the more, or you can say the maximum amount of calorific value, then we consider as a good, or you can say the ideal fuel. The next one, that is of it should have proper ignition temperature. Ignition temperature means a temperature at which the substance that catch the fire, then we consider as a ignition temperature. It not should be a very high, and it not should be a very low. If it is a low, then it is easily catch the fire, and if it is a high, then it's required time to ignite it. The next one, that is it should not leave any residue. Residue means the after the burning, means the complete burning process should occur, means not any kind of residue or any harmful gases or any harmful things not remain, then we consider as a ideal fuel or good fuel. For example, if you are burning the coal, the ash residues remain, so that is not a very good character. Now let's see the question. They classified the following as a renewable and the non-renewable source of energy. Here you have to do the classification. Some of the source of energy are given. The first one, that is of diesel oil. The diesel oil that we get from the petroleum by the distillation. So we consider as a non-renewable, because after using it, it will be exhausted. That's why. The flowing water, that is we get from the water. As we know that the water that is a renewable, it not exhaust, we can use it again and again, so it comes under to the renewable. As like that, the geothermal energy is also a renewable. Next one, that is of nuclear energy, that is also non-renewable, because the nuclear reactive substance, it may be exhausted. Seem like the coal also comes under to the not renewable source of energy. If anybody asks that, write down that the coal is an ideal fuel, then you have to write down all the characteristic of the good fuel, whether it is asking the coal or you can say the renewable source of energy or non-renewable source of energy, any example, then you have to write down the characteristic of the ideal fuel. Now, if we are, what is the difference between the coal and the coke? Because from the coal we can get the coke, and from the wood we can get the coal. So which are the better one? That the coal better is or a coke better? In this both the substance, the difference that is in only the high calorific value. The coke contain a high calorific value, so it is a good. Now next topic, that is of fossil fuels. What is the fossil fuels? Fossil means any plants or animals which is buried under the rocks, and after the millions trillions of the years it is converted into the fossil, and these fossil are used as a fuels. The fossil fuel means the fuels that are preserved under the earth crust as the remains of the plant and the animals, then we consider as a fossil fuel. An example of the fossil fuel, that is coal and the petroleum. Let's see the types of fossil fuels, that is coal, petroleum and the natural gas. Now, if the question is asked that how the fossil fuels are formed, then write down that we know that the plants trap the solar energy in their leaves for the photosynthesis. These plants are consumed by the animals. When these animals, due to the natural calamities, get buried under the surface of the earth, they get transformed into the fossil, and these fossils can be used for the fuel. But the chemical energy of the food remains intact in them. So, when fossils are burnt, then it is liberated as a form of energy, and therefore they fall in the category of the fossil fuel. And the example of the fossil fuels, that the coal and the petroleum. Now let's see the uses of the fossil fuels. These fossil fuels are mainly used for the generating of the electric energy in the thermal plants, by which we can run the thermal plants. And next, that is a natural gas, which is also used for the thermal power. And by the distillation of the petroleum, whatever the byproducts are formed, like a paraffin wax, lubricating oil, which are used for the different purpose. Now let's see the another topic, that is of disadvantage of fossil fuel. Some of the advantage, whereas some of the disadvantage is also there for the fossil fuel. What is the disadvantage? As we know that the petroleum, that is our non-renewable, or you can say the fossil which are the non-renewable source of energy, and as we know that by the combustion of this fossil fuel, it's liberate the carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide, which is mainly causing gas for the greenhouse effect, or which is ultimately cause the global warming. And as we know, what is the side effect of the global warming? And the last one, that is they produce lots of smoke, and also it causes the air pollution, and this kind of smoke is not good because we are inhale this kind of things, so it is maybe give the harmful effect to our lungs as well. Now the next topic, that is of hydro power plant. What is the hydro power plant? It is an arrangement in which the kinetic energy means due to the motion of the water, the energy is generated, then we consider as a kinetic energy. This kinetic energy of flowing water that is transformed into means the converted into the electric energy, and the electric energy generated then we consider as a hydroelectricity. Here you can see, here the reservoir is there where we are store the water, and here the gates are there. Whenever we open this gate, the water is flow over here, and here we attach the turbine. When the flow of the water it flow on the turbine, then the turbine is rotated, and this turbine is attached with the generator, and then this generator that convert this hydro energy into the electrical energy. Here you can see the whatever the water is there after the running of this turbine, whatever the water, then again it is flow down at the low, or you can say the outer flow of the river, which we can again use it. How exactly it work? In the hydroelectric power plants, the water is stored at the high reservoir provides, or we can say that in the dams. With the gates, these gates are opened and the water is allowed to flow, where it is potential energy is generated, and then this energy rotate the blades of the turbine over here, and these turbine are attached to the generator. When the blades of the turbine is rotated, and which is attached to the generator's armature, and it is also rotate the generator. When the generator is rotated, then the electric energy is produced. Let's see the advantage of the hydro energy. As we know, we are using the water, so it is a free of cost. Another thing, we are using a renewable source of energy, that's why it is a pollution free. From this process there is no any kind of harmful gas are generated, so you can say it's eco-friendly. And the construction of the dams, you can see the construction of the dams which controls the flood even, and in the droughts, or you can say in the times of the flood, the dams are useful. Now let's see the limitation of the hydro energy. For running this plant, large amount of water is required, and we have to construct the dams, and as we see that by the construction of the dams we requires a lots of investment as well as a lots of area. While the construction of the dam, it is directly affect the flora and the fauna, means whatever the biodiversity is located there, it is also give the effect to them. For the construction of the dam, they are destroy this all the biodiversity, so it is ultimately harmful for the nature. Now let's see the another topic, that is of conventional source of energy. The first one that we see, the biomass. Let's see the first, what is the biomass? It is the waste material which is produced from the living, or you can say the death material of the living beings, or another form you can say it is the organic matter. Organic matter means which is come from the plants or animals, whatever it is in a living forms or a non-living forms, then we consider as a biomass. For example, garbage, crops, alcohol, fuels, landfills, gas, wood, these all the things we consider as a biomass. Now let's see the biogas. How can we produce the biogas? By the using of the biomass. As we already discussed the different type of biomass. Now let's see the what is the biogas. The biogas, it's a mixture of the methane, the formula of methane, that is of CH4, carbon dioxide CO2, and the hydrogen means H2, and the trace of the hydrogen sulfide matlab H2S. These all three gas are the constituent of the biogas. How this biogas is generated? It is formed from the biomass. How it is possible? It is produced due to the anaerobic. Anaerobic means the absence of the oxygen. Anaerobic fermentations. Fermentation means the complex structure, means the biomass, which is converted into the simple substance in the presence of anaerobic condition, means the absence of the oxygen. Then this biomass is converted into the biogas. Now the question is arise, who make this complex structure into the simple structure? For that, the microorganism are there, which is responsible for the conversion of the biogas from the biomass. Now let's see the plant that is used for the biogas plant is shown in the figure. In this, the fixed dome type biogas plant. Let's see what is the things are included in the biogas plant. Here you can say one is the inlet tank, you can say, also called as a mixture tank. The another tank is that is known as a overflow tank, and it is also known as a outlet. And here the inlet, here you can say by the one is the inlet pipe and the another one that is of outlet. Between the inlet and the outlet, the tank like structure, here you can see the dome like structure, that is called as a digester tank. Three things we require. One is that is of intake, or you can say the mixture tank. Second one that is of digester, and the third one that is of outlet. Here you can say from the inlet, one pipe that is connected with the digester, which is connected from the mixture tank to the digester. Here you can see one pipe is there which comes from the outlet, or you can say the outlet chamber or outlet pipe, you can say. Now what happened in the digester tank? We are adding all the material into the mixer tank. Then after we mix it proper, and in that mostly we are using the cattle dung, water in equal proportion, and make a slurry. Whatever is made from the cattle dung and the water, that is known as a slurry. This slurry we are adding into the mixture tank. In that we are mix it proper, and then after this, through this pipe, it is go to the digester. In the digester, there is a microorganism is generated. Here this tank is anaerobic, means there is an absence of the oxygen, and this presents microorganism do this complex structure converted into the simple substance, and this process is approximately takes time of 1 month. And after this reaction, some gas is generated, which is collected at the above portion of the digester. Here you can see from the wall one outlet is there where we can withdraw the gas. This gas we are taking from the outlet, and this gas we are using this as a cooking purpose. And due to the production of the gas, this gas add to the pressure on the slurry. Due to this pressure, the slurry is go to the outlet, and which is collected as a bioslurry, and this bioslurry we can use in our field or farm as a form of manure. How the biogas are work? Now let's see The advantages of the using of biogas as a fuel. First one, that is the spent slurry, that we are not do this or you can say the purchase from anywhere. It is only the use of the manure. So, and the second one, that is whatever the biogas is generated, that we are using for the domestic cooking. Third one, that is of it is eco-friendly. There is no lots of investment is needed for the establishment of the biogas. The fourth one, it is leaves no residue, because whatever the waste, here the waste is the bioslurry, that is also we are using as a form of manure, and this manure, it is a full of the nitrogen substance. So this manure we are using in the farm as a nutrient form for the plants. The next one, that is it is also used for the illumination purpose, means we can easily manage the waste which is produced by the animals. Now let's see the next energy, that is of wind energy. Wind energy, first of all we see what is the wind. Wind means the moving air, that is called the wind. First of all, from where the wind is came. The wind is generated due to the uneven heating of the earth's surface by the sun. Due to this process, the moving air that is generated. So, the wind is generated. These basically work on the land bridge and the sea bridge phenomena that we already study in the lower standard. The setup that is used is a wind energy farm as shown in the figure. Here you can see how the wind energy setup are look like. Here you can see we are choose the some of the areas only for the wind farm where the wind speed of the wind is high, so we can easily get the proper wind energy. Now let's see how the wind energy farms and how the wind energy we can operate or we can generate. In the wind means it consists of a one pole. This is called the poles, and that bear a blade. It consists of blade. You can see in the figure. And these of the bear blades which is connected with the shaft of the windmill. Whenever the wind is came, then the shaft is rotated, and with this shaft the generator is attached. So the generator is also rotated, by which we can get the electric energy. Let's see detail. When the fast moving wind rotates, the blades of the windmill, it is shaft rotated. I see that the armature rotates, hence the electricity is produced, and which is further used for the various purpose, for example of as a form of electricity, for the power consumption, etc. Now let's see the advantages of the wind energy. It is a naturally renewable resources. It is naturally occurs because it is we get this energy from the wind. That's why. And the another one, that is eco-friendly. It does not contain any kind of pollution. Now let's see the disadvantage of the wind energy. The first disadvantage, that it cannot be established everywhere. It's require a large area to establishment. Another thing, it is an expensive project for the establishment of the wind farm. It's require lots of land, and it is also an expensive project. And the wind doesn't blow all the time same. So the energy generate, that is also different. The next, that is the wind doesn't blow all the time same, so the wind energy can be produced every time. And the minimum speed of the wind that is required of 15 kilometer per hour, then and then this farm, that area only we can establish the farm, and then we can get the appropriate amount of the energy. So this is the disadvantage of the using of energy. The first one, that is it cannot be established everywhere. For the wind farm we require large area. It is also very expensive project, and wind doesn't blow all the time, so the wind energy can't be produced every time. And for the wind energy we require a minimum energy, that is 15 kilometer per hour. So these all are the disadvantage of the wind energy. Now the next one, that is of solar energy. As we know that it is a energy that we can get from the sun, and the sun is a renewable, so the source of energy is, if the renewable, so the energy also a renewable. This energy help in keeping the temperature of the earth hotter, cause air current in the atmosphere, and cause the water cycle, and help in photosynthesis. What is the uses, or what is the importance of the solar energy? As we know, for the photosynthesis the sunlight is the must, and from the suns we are getting UV rays, which is also a form of energy, and also it is helpful for the making a warmth of the earth. And whatever the temperature is controlled, it is due to the infrared ray. And the last, that is a photosynthesis, that we already know about it, that the how photosynthesis is important. By the photosynthesis only the food is generated into the plant, and then all the animals who are depend on the plants, they can survive. Now let's see the solar constant. What is the meaning of the solar constant? As we see that we cannot use all the energy of the sun. The whatever the energy that is fall on the earth, that energy only we can use, and that is not whole energy, it is only the 1.5 kilojoule energy that is fall in per 1 meter square area per 1 second. It is actual fall, so that we consider as a solar constant. Means it is the total energy that falls on a 1 meter square area in a 1 second at the earth's surface, then we consider as a solar constant. Now the limitation of the solar energy, if we enhance the energy from the sun, there is some limitation of it, that it is falls in a diffuse form, means it is a scattered, not we cannot get at one point. The next one, that is it is not available all the time. At the night time we cannot get the sun energy. It is not available at the constant rate. If the sunny days, then it is okay, but if the rainy days, then it is not a constant one. And also the place of the sun, that is not constant, it is a different, it is a variable. It is available, not available at the night, and it is not available at all the places. So these are the major limitation of the solar energy. Now let's see about the solar heating devices. They are the device that are work on the solar energy. Then we consider as the solar heating device. Here you can see in the first figure that is solar cooker, the second one that is of solar cells, and the third one that is of solar water heater. Here you can see in the solar cooker, it is a form of heat energy we are using. Let's see the first one, that is a solar cooker. It is a device that is used to cook food with the help of sunlight. By utilizing the sunlight, it is of two types. One that is of a box type. Here that is you can see in the figure. The another one that is of concave reflector types. In that we are using a concave mirror by which we can focus the sunlight or focus the heat of the sun. Let's see the box type solar cooker that you can see in the figure. The use of the reflector. In the box type of solar cooker, we are using the use of reflector. Here you can see at the lid one reflector or plain mirror, or you can say we are using. We are using these things because all the radiation we can concentrate at the solar cooker. If they reflect the ray, they do not fall normally, so that more and more rays enter the solar cooker. Means it is a concentrate, or it's fall the rays of the sun at the particular area only. So by which the heat is generated more, and by which our food cooking, we can do the food cooking easily. Another thing that is using of the glass. We are using the transparent glass. What is the use of the glass? It is allowed the infrared rays to enter but does not allow it to accept. So the maintenance of the heat under the solar cooker, it is happen easily. Means you can say the trapping process is occur. Then and then we can easily rise the temperature, and then we can easily cook the food. So as the result, they get trapped and the temperature is maintained in the solar cooker. Main function, it does not allow the accept of the rays. As result, they get the trap the temperature and maintain the solar cooker. It is a painted black. Another things that is, we are painting the solar cooker as a black color because the black color is the perfect absorber of the heat. It absorbs all the rays of the solar, or you can say the sun. So we can it is also help to increase the temperature of the solar cooker. How it's work, let's see. When the sun ray fall on the reflector, the rays, the glass sheet allow them to enter but do not allow to accept. Inside it 4 bowls at a time can be kept, in which we can make the dal, rice, khichdi, whatever the food is that. Now the limitation of the solar cooker. It can't be used to bake a fry or make a chapatis because it does not contain that much temperature. Another disadvantage that is it is a time consuming, means it takes the more time to cook the food. The third one that is it can't be used at night due to the not availability of the sunlight, and it can't be used during the rainy or the humid weather because the sunlight is not proper, so we cannot use it. The next type of reflector, that is concave reflector type. Here you can see in the figure. It is like as shown in the figure. Whenever we are using this concave reflector, it is a converging mirror. Converging means it's convert all the rays at the one point, or you can say the focus, where we need to focus all the heat, or you can say where we can focus the heat. Here you can see where the focus point we are keeping the cooking utensil, so we can easily rise the temperature. So these things are these kind of cookers we can use for the fry, the chapati and all. If we are talking about the limitation, it is same like the box like solar cooker, because the direction is not face of the sun, it is not constant all the time. At the night we cannot use, and humid and the rainy days also we cannot use the solar cooker. Whether it is a simple solar cooker or whether it is a reflector type of solar cooker. So these all are the limitation of the solar energy. Now let's see the advantages of the solar cooker. As we know that we are using the sun, so it is a eco-friendly, it does not cause any kind of the pollution, or you can say the pollution free, and it is a save the fuel. Another thing that is it's not overcook the food, so the whatever the nutrients value of the food that remain, or you can say that is retained. Another thing that is it is free of cost, as a no fuel is used.